Congressman Mark Meadows, Congressman Jim Jordan, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Thank you all for being here. Now, you all attended the working lunch at the White House to discuss border security. Congressman Matt Gaetz, I'll start with you on this question. What was it like with the president today?
I was so proud of our president. The establishment in Washington on both sides of the aisle wanted President Trump to take a bad deal that didn't have any funding for border security, but he was tough. He stood up to them. And, you know, the reason big business wants to have a deal is because they want the cheap labor, but who ends up paying for that is the American worker, the American family that wants the safety that comes with a secure border. And so the president did his job. He pushed back, and now I think the president made very clear to all of us, and he's made clear to the country, that he is not going to take a bad deal from the Democrats. And anything under $2 billion, 1.6 billion, what Schumer was floating, that is a total non-starter. We're going to have real border security, or we're going to have a long shutdown, Judge.
Well, you know, Congressman Jim Jordan, you know, the Senate has gone home. Should they have gone home? And let me stop for a minute. I want to congratulate the House for doing what you did and getting this passed. And to all of you, I know you're the movers and shakers. But anyway, Jim, should the Senate have gone home?
Well, here's what I know. 1 week ago, Nancy Pelosi sat in the Oval Office and told the President of the United States there weren't the votes in the House. 3 days ago, the United States Senate sent a bill to the House with no funding for the border security wall. 2 days ago, we passed a bill out of the House of Representatives, 217 to 185. Strong win for the president, more importantly, strong win for the country. So I don't know whether they should have went home or not. All I know is the momentum is on our side because the American people want a secure border. They want what the president campaigned on, which is a border security wall to deal with the caravan issues and all the other issues you talked about in your opening statement.
All right, and Congressman Mark Meadows, what is it going to take in the Senate? I know you're in the House, but what do you think it's going to take? How much horse trading is going to have to be done to get this passed?
Well, you had Senator Lindsey Graham on, and he's been actively involved, but it's not just him. You had Mike Lee. We met with Senator Shelby from Alabama earlier today with the president. What it's really going to take is for the Democrats to quit saying that they're for border security when they don't want any funding for the wall. I mean, you can't be for one and suggest that you're for a secure America when you're wanting zero funding for that. So we're going to have to work hard. I can tell you, should the senators have gone home? The answer is no. You know, they should be right here in Washington, D.C., along with the president, working hard because the American people expect us to get this done. And so, yes, there's been multiple offers by this administration. You talk about being flexible. The president and his team have been fully engaged every hour, making multiple offers, but the answer continues to be the same on Capitol Hill. Well, we got to check with Nancy Pelosi. Since when do senators have to check with Nancy Pelosi?
Well, Chuck Schumer's bowing down to Nancy Pelosi now? What's his problem?
Well, he is. I mean, when you look at that, you know, she's obviously running and going to get the gavel and going to be a speaker. But when we look at this, what we have to make sure of is that each senator understands what's at stake, and it's the security of our communities. We're talking about drug trafficking, human trafficking, terrorism, all of that. Is there a price that we can put on that? No, $5 billion is the number that we need. We need to continue to work hard.
And you know, go ahead, Jim.
Judge, I was just going to say, here's the problem. They're more, as Senator Graham said, they're more concerned about stopping the president than they are in helping the country. Everyone knows we need to secure the border. Everyone knows we need a border security wall to stop the gang problems, the drug problems, the human trafficking problems, the whole thing. So if they would stay more focused on doing what's best for the country, something they were all for just a few years ago, instead of going after the president and just trying to stop anything the president's for, the country would be better off.
And, you know, Congressman Gates, one of the things that I noticed when I was down at the border, I think last year or the year before, I'm not sure, it was, they called them rape trees, where the coyotes would bring these young girls across and they would have the personal belongings, the undergarments of the girls that they raped on the, you know, in this country. I mean, people, how could the left, the liberals, the people who are supposed to care, not understand how important this wall is? What do they get out of not having a wall?
Judge, when we don't build a wall, it's like we hang an open for business sign for every coyote and cartel that would want to destabilize our border and bring harm to America's families. And so we need new wall funding. There's a trick the Democrats are trying, and we've got to be able to stop it. They're trying to constrain the money that we want to get for the new border wall only to go and fix old fences. Now, we ran on build the wall, not fix the fence. Right. And so I think that, you know, until we have that type of aggressive posture, we're not going to be able to deliver on this result. But what I keep coming back to is just my gratitude for the fact that we have a president of the United States who did not give in to either side. He's still fighting. We're still fighting. And I think it's a fight worth having for American families, American workers, and our national security.
And you know what? The way the week was going, I was a little worried, but the president came back. Senator Lindsey Graham. All right, Senator, should Mitch McConnell have sent them home?
Well, you know, I don't think we're going to do anything between now and Christmas.
Why not?
Let me just say, well, it takes two to tango. Here's what Schumer said. I'm going to quote you, Judge. Schumer demands Trump abandon the wall. So, Senator Schumer, we're not going to abandon the wall. We're going to build the wall until all those Americans who want us to abandon the wall and open up the border, that's what this fight's about. We don't agree with you. So Mark and Jim and Matt deserve a lot of credit for getting the president in a good spot. I had lunch with the president today, and I can promise you we need more money for the wall along the border. Schumer wants to abandon the wall. We want to build it. That's what this fight's all about. And it really is a silly, petty fight on behalf of Democrats.
Okay.
They all voted for $25 billion for the wall, border security in February.
Okay, but they won't allow for the actual building of a concrete wall. All right, I don't know if you heard my open, but there's an 8-month pregnant woman who scaled that ridiculous fence so she could get over here. Listen, are you going to have to compromise in the Senate? And how, in order to get the wall, because I can't believe that in the end we will not get this wall. But maybe I'm just an optimist.
Well, let me tell you, we need the wall. And after the caravan, okay, the president asked for $1.6 billion for wall funding early in the year. Along comes the caravan. 5,000 people show up at our border near Tijuana, Mexico. And you made a very good point. What kind of wall is it that a 9-month pregnant woman can climb over, have the baby on our side within an hour? I am so glad she's healthy. Apparently the baby's okay. What else did we learn about our wall? Somebody put an 8-month-old baby under the wall. So, Senator Schumer, what does it take for you to realize that we need more money for a broken border? And this is about them hating Trump so much, wanting him to lose, they can't understand that America needs to win, and we're not going to give in.
Okay.
I'm a pretty reasonable guy, but we're not going to give in on this. And
you're a pretty reasonable guy, Senator, who doesn't agree with the president. Yeah, I'll say it. You don't agree with the president on everything, and Syria is one of those issues, but I'm honestly, right now, I'm into this wall right now. How are you going to get 9 Democrats to vote for the wall? What are you going to do?
We're going to go on TV and say to the American people that we need more money for wall funding because the threats against the country are greater, not smaller. And the president asked for 1.6. Democrats agreed to 1.6. The difference between 1.6 and $5 billion is very small in a $3 trillion budget. The need is there. Every Democrat in February voted for $25 billion for wall funding. We're going to make the case that this is unreasonable.
You know what?
And it is dangerous.
Okay, I just thought of something. You know, in the omnibus bill with the $700 billion for the military and all the other stuff,
right.
$500 for Planned Parenthood,
Right.
you know, it was a compromise, right?
The whole
They
deal.
had $1.6 billion, I believe, in that omnibus bill for the wall, but they specifically said Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, you can't use any of it for the wall. What makes you think Mitch McConnell's in with you guys on this?
Well, I think Mitch is not the problem. I think he's the solution. I think Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the hard left are the problem. Chuck Schumer said today, I demand that the president abandon the wall.
You know what?
If you want to know what this is about,
why does
they want to
Chuck
abandon the wall. We want to build it.
Why does Chuck Schumer hate the president so much?
Well, you know, I'm not saying he hates the president as a person. I'm saying this, that he hates the president's agenda, that he's kowtowing to the radical left, that most Americans understand compromise is good. The Democrats have told the president you won't get one penny for the wall.
Right.
The people voted for the president to build the wall. They're on the wrong side of this issue. The three people coming behind me, these congressmen, they understand what 2016 was all about. We did lose the House in 2018, but I promise you this, the issue of securing our border is alive and well. And when Chuck Schumer tells the president he demands that he abandon this wall, President Trump should listen to your opening statement. He will. I've never seen the president more determined to get something done than to build this wall.
Good. Senator Lindsey Graham, always good to have you on the show. Come back and see us sometime.
I'll be back.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Hold on just a second.
Things are the things we remember all through our lives. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our lives.
All right. There it is on Santa 1099. Your home for the holidays. Hi, I'm Chris Kringle. And don't forget about the rest of the year here on Santa 1099 when we're called Easy Variety 1099. You're going to love it. We play only the best music from Anne Murray and the best music from the Dave Clark Five and Yanni, and only the biggest hits from Men Without Hats. But now, more Christmas favorites with the Beach Boys.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Only the best music from Men Without Hats and Yanni?
And the Dave Clark Five.
Is there a good song? And who thinks of the Beach Boys when they're thinking about Christmas music? It's Christmas music, man. Nobody's thinking about the Beach Boys.
Think about kicking back on a nice beach chair with a
Do you
towel.
know anybody who has the Beach Boys Christmas album? Have you ever walked into somebody's house and they're playing the Beach Boys Christmas album?
People have said in the past that they like the Beach Boys and they like Christmas. We've combined the two.
And then we go, and then we take them from the Beach Boys and we tell them, hey, make sure you stick around because Anne Murray is going to be happening after the Christmas music? I mean, nobody listens to that stuff.
But that's why we have to talk about it. Do you realize we are the #1 station during the holidays because of this, what is it, Christmas or?
Yeah, and?
Well, the rest of the year we average 14 listeners a day. 14 listeners in an entire day. I mean, and those are the ones that are stuck in an elevator at work or on drugs at a dentist chair. No one listens.
All right, so you think maybe there's a possibility that's because we're playing the Dave Clark Five?
No, our research shows that people aren't familiar with our product.
That's because we change slogans every frickin' holiday. We're Santa 1099, Thanksgiving 1099, Easter Bunny 1099. I mean, who listens to Easter music? Is there even such a thing as Easter music?
Our research shows that Peter Cottontail tests well with our women 7 to 12 years old audience.
Let me ask you, how about Kwanzaa 1099? How do you explain that? We're the whitest radio. Dave Clark 5. And you put Kwanzaa music on?
Have you ever heard Dave Clark 5's version of Happy Kwanzaa?
No,
You haven't.
I
It's
haven't.
all about diversity, Chris Kringle. Research shows that diversity is one of the public's favorite words.
Okay, all right. Shut up. Hold on. This song's over.
Okay, remember, jolly. Throw in a ho, ho, ho. Relate to the parking lot, people.
What?
Make it jolly. Bowl full of jelly. Mistletoe.
Hold on.
Stockings held by the...
Quiet. There it is on Santa 1099, your home for the holidays. Hi, I'm Chris Kringle. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, and remember parking lots. And this time of year, remember cars. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. We're glad you're here today. So James Mattis has resigned yesterday, and this is because he was surprised that we were pulling out of Syria and apparently Afghanistan now, too. His letter of resignation, which we will tweet out here, is pretty shocking, I think. He says, one core belief I have always held, that our strength as a nation is inextricably linked to our strength of unique and comprehensive system of alliances and partnership. While the U.S. remains the indispensable nation in the free world, we cannot protect our interests or serve that role effectively without maintaining strong alliances and showing respect to those allies. I believe we must be resolute and unambiguous in our approach to those countries whose strategic interests are increasingly in tension with ours. It is clear that China and Russia, for example, want to shape the world consistent with their authoritarian model, gaining veto authority over other nations' economic, diplomatic, and security decisions to promote their own interests at the expense of their neighbors. America and our allies, we must use all the tools of American power to provide for the common defense. My views on treating the allies with respect and also being clear-eyed about both malign actors and strategic competitors are strongly held and informed by over 4 decades of immersion in these issues. We must do everything possible to advance an international order that is most conducive to our security, prosperity, and values, and we are strengthened in this effort by solidarity with our alliances. You have the right to have a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with yours on these subjects. It is time for me to step down from my position. We brought Jason Buttrill in, who is our chief researcher, and especially when it comes to military affairs, he was with military intelligence for a while. And Mattis, in case you don't know, is our Patton, our MacArthur, our Eisenhower. He is the most respected military commander of our lifetime, is he not?
He is, and not just respected under U.S. military either. I've actually sat through briefings where he has briefed a coalition of nations together, and they look at him in awe. You know, it's the Brits, it's the Australians. Everyone respects Mattis. There is no other authority beyond him that is just greater respected. If he says something, and when it's involved with war fighting, you listen, and everyone agrees with what he's about to say.
So if you're in the military today and you heard Mattis and you read his resignation, what are you thinking?
In our military or foreign militaries?
Our military and our allies.
I'm worried. I'm worried. And I kind of struggled with what I was going to say coming on here right now, because I don't want to say too much, but I am worried. I've watched what everyone has been saying about this. Even people, our network now is a lot larger, and I've watched what other people on our, media platform have said, and I don't agree with what a lot of people are saying, primarily because they keep saying that, we can't be the policeman of the world, and Trump is trying to make us to where we're not the policeman of the world. I totally agree.
I totally agree.
But 2,000 troops in this area is not being the policeman of the world. 2,000 troops in this area is the equivalent of what we did pre-World War II, or our strategy of just providing like economic aid. This is the equivalent of economic aid to our troops. to this country. We're providing these troops specifically so that we don't have to deploy a larger force. That's the point. We're enabling the Kurds and the SDF to do the brunt of the fighting. We're there just to ensure that Turkey or Assad or Iran don't commit genocide.
Correct.
It's exactly why we're there. And that's exactly what is about to happen. We told these people to trust us.
Again.
This has happened to them since World War I. We told them to trust us. Now they're going to get